So one last thing we really want to do before we actually do make our high-res mesh is to ensure that our object itself is actually lined up so that the most rear edges here are actually lined up to this X grid, right? So this X line here. And the reason we do that is because when we import this into Unreal and go to place it in our level, wherever that origin point is inside of our world is where the object's going to snap to. So if we have it set to the back, it'll just snap to things like, say, walls just perfectly, very simply. So fortunately, it's very, very easy. We're just going to select everything. Actually, before we do that, we want to make sure we can select our face. And now that I'm looking at this, we just need to shade smooth that. Great. And let's select the whole thing again. Go to one of our side views, in this case right, and I'm just going to go to my move tool, and I'm just going to, excuse me, before I move, you might have noticed that I'm in local mode, and when I move in local, they all move on their own local axis, which is not very helpful. So I'll move back to global and start moving it. And because it's not so precise in this case, I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. I could set the origin so that the origin point is right here, and then I could just grid snap to that point, but this is just fine. So the other thing I want to do is I want to ensure that in my transforms, and especially my delta transforms, that they're all set up to be set to either 0 in the case of location and rotation, or 1 in the case of scale. So you can see that all of these are kind of off for varying objects. So when I flick through them, you can see that they're all kind of over the shop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select any piece of this, and go to Object, Apply, All Transforms. And you notice that the location and rotation is set to 0 and the scale sets to 1. There are times where if your delta locations, rotation or scales are different, that they're going to impact the scale or the location in the world that the object is then in after you apply this operation. So it's a pretty easy fix, but that might be something that comes up because I'm not sure I'm going to get the issue right here. So let's go ahead and do it with another piece. Apply all transforms. And so one thing that you can do inside of Blender with the industry key map is to use the G key to repeat the last operation. So if I select the next piece and just hit the G key, it goes ahead and does the same exact operation. So I'm just going to go through and do it for the rest of these objects. And I need to do it for the glass face as well. And I think that's it. Let's just go through these and double check that they're all done. Yep. Oh, front ref, that's no good. Don't need that anyway. Goodbye. Glass face is fine. Inner spike is fine. Inner spike is fine. So this cylinder is not at all named. So I'm just going to call this clock face. Great.